Founders selling SaaS businesses are often leaving significant money on the table, and it usually comes down to decisions made in the 2 years before the deal. Prospective acquirers want to see two things: clean retention data and documented cancellation flows. A surprising number of SaaS companies have neither. The first mistake founders make when selling SaaS businesses is treating the exit as a separate phase of the company. Waiting until you're ready to sell before thinking about what a buyer wants means you're already behind. Buyers are looking at retention data, churn trends, and customer feedback loops. If that story isn't clean and well documented, the valuation conversation becomes uncomfortable quickly. The second mistake is over-indexing on revenue growth while under-investing in the metrics that hold up under due diligence. Revenue going up looks great on a slide, but if net revenue retention is below 90%, that's a different conversation altogether. Timing matters too. Selling from a position of burnout or rising churn isn't a strong starting point. Buyers can sense urgency, and they'll price it accordingly. When serious acquirers evaluate a SaaS business, they're building a picture of whether the revenue is real, customers are genuinely happy, and the retention story holds up without the founder in the room. The cleanest acquisitions, the ones where founders feel they got a fair outcome, almost always involve well-documented cancellation data. That data tells a buyer why customers leave, which save offers worked, and where pricing friction sits. It gives whoever is taking over a roadmap for retention, and that moves the valuation conversation in a more positive direction. There are several exit paths worth understanding when selling SaaS businesses. Strategic acquirers are larger companies buying because your product, customers, or team fills a gap in their portfolio. These deals can command premiums of 8 to 12 times ARR for the right fit, but they require a clean story. Strategic buyers have technical teams that will go through your codebase, retention numbers, and support history. A churn problem you've been papering over won't survive that review. Private equity buyers want predictable, scalable revenue and a management team that can operate without the founder. Strong net revenue retention and documented processes are essential. The PE market for SaaS businesses has matured considerably, and vague answers about churn no longer hold up under scrutiny. An acqui-hire, where a larger company is primarily interested in your team rather than your product, changes the dynamics of selling SaaS businesses significantly. Valuations are often lower on a revenue multiple basis, but deals can close quickly with strong personal outcomes for key team members. There's also a growing market of holding companies and micro PE operators buying in the $500K to $5 million ARR range. Multiples are typically lower than a strategic deal, but the process is faster and certainty of close tends to be higher. For founders who want a clean outcome more than a stretched valuation, this part of the market is worth understanding. The first serious buyer conversation almost always goes to the same place. They'll ask about churn, then why customers leave, then what you've done about it. If your answer is vague or unsupported by structured data, that stalls the process. Before entering any process, ask yourself whether your retention data is structured and exportable, whether you can explain exactly why your last 50 cancellations happened, whether you've tested save offers and know which ones work, and whether a buyer could understand your churn story without you in the room. Most founders can't answer those questions cleanly. The ones who can are in a significantly stronger position. Cancellation data is the clearest signal a SaaS business generates. When a customer leaves and tells you why, that information is genuinely valuable. Structured over time and broken down by cohort and plan type, it becomes one of the most compelling documents you can put in front of an acquirer. Raft captures cancellation reasons in a structured way, presents a targeted offer based on plan and cancellation reason, and feeds everything into a reporting dashboard you can hand directly to a buyer. The setup takes around 30 minutes and requires no development work. Selling SaaS businesses successfully is mostly about the work you do before the process starts. Start using Raft now, and you'll have structured cancellation data feeding into your product and pricing decisions from day one. When the time comes to sit across from an acquirer, you'll be presenting evidence rather than assumptions. Get started for free today. No development time required, and you'll be live in about 30 minutes.